That intro, man, gets good on a Friday, right?
Yeah,
What's
man.
happening, Ken?
Nothing much, man. It's been an eventful day, to say the
Yeah,
least.
I know, man. Well, welcome everybody to REI Happy Hour. Every single Friday at 5 p.m. we get here together with Ken after a long week just to talk about some real estate and have a drink. So thank you everybody for joining us. And if you haven't joined us before, welcome. If this is your first time, please make sure to like the live, comment, let us know where you're listening from, and also share the page, share the live. You know, share it to your friends, share it to the different groups of investors you're in, share it to all your family. You never know when you're going to find your next business partner. So we'd definitely love to, love to have everyone on here to really kind of get a few connections, have to find out some new things going on in the market, new loan programs. We share a little bit of everything when it comes to real estate investing on REI Happy Hour every single Friday at 5 p.m. together with a nice little drink. So, Ken, how's your week been, man?
It's been good. It's been eventful. Gotten a lot of calls lately, which is always a good thing, right? New prospects, new things. I think a lot of people are, trying to get in the game. Got a lot of beginners, which is always exciting. I always like to help beginners out and see if we can get them to their goals and their dreams and such and things like that. So it's awesome, man. Good
Absolutely.
week.
Good.
How about you, man? How about you?
Good, man. Had a great week. I'm so glad that we've had a two to three closings this week. So, I'm glad that it was two refis and one purchase and rehab. Very happy about the refis because how the market is very interesting, man. Both cases, because of how the market has been, they literally were coming up to their maturity date, which actually one of them they were over past it. And I was actually able to help them out to not had to pay an extension, and let the lender know that we're just trying to close down on the refi. They'll get paid real soon on it. And it worked out. I mean, they was able to save themselves a good amount of money on having to pay on fees. So that definitely helped. But it's interesting how, like, I've never been in a situation, at least in the past couple of years, where people have gotten up to the maturity date. So, and it's the market we're in, man. But thankfully we're gonna help them out, get them out of that loan, get into the refi, start making some cash flow. Good to go.
I hear you there. And then the rates have been very interesting, to say the least. I know we're not going to get into it, but the rates, I've been pricing stuff out and going to move forward with a couple deals, but it's interesting seeing some of these long-term rates, and people just have to have the mindset that they got to take a little bit less on the cash flow, but it's worth it because they got to be in it for the long term, right? So
there's nothing wrong with it. At the end of the day, you're not losing. That's the big thing.
You're not
losing.
Gaining.
Exactly. You're not losing whatsoever. Now, if you're paying more, if you're coming out of pocket each month, I get it, right? Yeah. But if the numbers work, they work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Exactly. But obviously another topic for another day. Yep. But we're very, very excited today. We have somebody from one of our preferred title companies, Anchor Title and Escrow. So we're very excited to have her on here. And obviously, like we do every single Friday, we have to talk about our drink. Yeah. One of Ken's favorite part of the show. But before that, let's go ahead and invite Sarah Acosta into our live. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
Hey, boys. How's it going?
Welcome. How you doing?
What is everybody drinking? We haven't talked about that yet.
No, we're about to get to it.
We're about to get into it.
Before Sarah, talks about what she does, what she loves to do on a daily. Let's Ken start it off with, what are we drinking?
Oh, I'm always starting. So I'm drinking. It's my second time. I liked it I think it was a couple weeks ago. I had this on our live Voodoo Ranger, but it's a different one. It is Juicy Haze IPA.
Oh,
so I love the skeleton and the skeleton for Halloween. It's a little bit of a theme there, but have never had it, so I'm gonna try it right now and tell you what you think.
Hazy IPA. Okay. Yeah, it's a little too bitter.
Actually, no, I like it. It's good.
Really? Not too bitter?
No, that's the thing. The first one wasn't bitter, and that's why I wanted to try another one. And
not bad.
Good.
So how about Sarah? Go ahead. You can go next. What you drinking?
Obviously, I'm not in my home office. I am still in the office, and
no alcohol as
yeah, the espresso martinis are frowned upon here. So but keeping in the Halloween theme, I have the 𝗯𝗲𝘀𝗰𝗵 witch's brew.
Nice.
It's the last Friday of the month. I need the 200 milligrams of caffeine.
There you go. There you go.
Nice. So I have here with me some Creature Comfort. It's obviously it's a local beer here in Georgia, from Athens, Georgia. And so this is a pale ale, the automatic. So
let me see that can. Bring it up to the camera. That can
looks like an Arizona.
Oh, it's got flamingos on it. You're in that summer vibe still. Like, is it still warm down there? What's going on?
It is. You know, it's Georgia, so it's a little bit warm. But good stuff. Nice. So I'm glad everybody has their drink. Everyone who's on the chat and on the live with us, please share what you're drinking with us, even if it's a bottle of water.
He said that with such judgment.
Especially for the people in Cali, that it's like 2 p.m. and I'm pretty sure they're not drinking yet. Well,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
So, but at the same time, I want to definitely thank Sarah for taking from her busy time. Again, like she just said, it's the last Friday of the month. It's the end of the month, so the craziness is just piles up, especially after a Friday, right? So thank you very much for taking some of your time to talk a little bit about.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
absolutely. Like we said before, Anchor is one of our Campos Capital Group preferred title companies. So you'll be hearing a lot about Anchor when it comes to our closings in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So we will definitely get
Pennsylvania shortly.
That's right, NPA very shortly.
That was a brand new license for us across the company, not just with Anchor. So we were starting from the ground up with that. So right now we're going through the title insurance, approvals and that sort of thing. And that within the month, we should also be able to add Pennsylvania to that list.
Nice. Love it.
And then there's no stopping me. Georgia, I'm coming for you.
Nice. So Sarah, tell us first of all, who how do you start working in title company? What's your motivation in working in this line of business? How long you been in it?
So interestingly enough, I started in real estate, selling real estate.
Nice.
I got out of college and went back home, and my parents were like, "What the heck? What are you doing with yourself?" And I didn't have the answer. I didn't know. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to chill out, and that wasn't gonna fly. So I had a girlfriend of mine who was going to take the real estate class, and she's like, "Do you want to come along with me? Take this class with me?" And I'm like, "Perfect. You know what? That'll get my dad off my butt for a few months." And yeah, sure, why not? I'm going to take the class. I hit the ground running and successfully sold real estate for 15 years. In that 15 years, I had 2 children. I did all the things. My best years were right about the time that everything kind of like imploded, like 2005, 2006 timeframe. And my broker at the time was offering to send us to take these classes, learn how to sell distressed properties, learn how to properly negotiate a short sale, so on and so forth. And I love nothing more than class, education. I want the certification. I want the certificate on my wall. So that's just who I am as a person. So I, went through all of that and loved it. I did, I really appreciate what asset companies, what their job is and what they do, and the investors that I worked with and what have you. And that just kind of grew from there. And then I took a break. And I decided to get into the restaurant business for like a decade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a Gemini. These things happen. And so I did that for a while. And then I had the opportunity I met Michelle, the owner of the company, and she said, I love restaurant people. I love restaurant managers. I will hire them off the street any day of the week. Their work ethic is different. They hustle. They don't get stressed out easily, and they're down for whatever. And so there's like 4 of us in the building that all we are ex-restaurant managers.
Wow.
And one of them, Rachel, is my processor for Anchor, for our new venture, Anchor title, and she's a beast. She's a beast.
Nice.
You can't hurt her feelings. You can't make her cry. Like there are no tears in title. Like so
Wow.
yeah. So we're having a good time. But back to the whole like investor thing. Like it's a different breed. They're not first time home buyers. You don't have to like hold their hand and pat their head. Like it's all about the bottom line. I'm a numbers person. If the math doesn't math, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And there's no emotion. Nothing's personal. It's just the bottom line.
Nice.
And a lot of people don't understand that, but we get it.
Well, I'm curious, what was the name of the restaurant? Where did you work in the restaurant?
Well, I won't give you the name of it. I mean, I don't want to like shout them out, give them like free advertising. It was a Mexican restaurant.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Which cool. Back to do you speak Spanish? Yes, Danny, I do speak Spanish. I am bilingual-ish.
Bilingual-ish.
Bilingual-ish. But no, I do have. I can have a conversation with you in Spanish. I was telling Danny when we first got on. My goal for 2024 is I'm going to comfortably be able to perform a settlement in Spanish. Nice. And not feel like someone might sue me later down the line because I said something that wasn't right. So I have people on my team. I have a settlement officer. Whatever you need it, we got it. So
no, and I get that because when it comes to like this whole I guess you can say like language lingo for the line of business is going to be very different, even if you're like fully like bilingual,
Mm-hmm.
So like I can imagine like having to even adapt to the title company and escrow words and
right, like the terminology. I kind of explain it like it's no different if you have a young your kid, let's say your kid's translating for you, they don't know the word
right
for those words. Like that's me. I'm like the 10-year-old with the sailor's mouth. Like I know all those words.
Too funny. So I'll ask a question here. So what is the number one rule in real estate in handling real estate closings?
I'll go back to the no tears in title. No tears in title. The number one, it's just, you have to be solution oriented. Like I'm not going to waste my time or my energy or my voice on pointing the blame. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this title company did this, or this ex-lender, the county, the state, whoever, like just get the job done. Like, what do we need to do? What needs to happen to get this to the finish line? That's all I care. That's it. And that's it. I don't care whose fault it is. I'm not blaming anybody. We're just going to get the job done. Yep. And, my kids love to say that I wake up and choose violence. So it's really I get to come to this job because, I do have to like manhandle people a little bit sometimes. If I'm not getting a lien cert back in time, or, I'm like, Pedro Campos is he wants to go to closing at the end of the week and I don't have what he needs, I'm going to have to put the fire under somebody's butt. And I'm not shy about it.
Very nice.
I'm not shy about it.
That is very important.
It's a good characteristic. That's a good characteristic for what you do.
To be in it, to work for a title company, like I give a lot of respect to every single agent I speak to because there's a lot of pressure. You're the one person down the line at the end that needs to make this happen.
Yes.
Right? So there's a lot of pressure. And
Yeah,
so
we're like the
sometimes-
number 4 person in like the relay race.
Excuse me.
right.
And if they don't get, or like the quarterback, like, I mean, I'm not really a football person, so correct me if I don't, but like, if they don't get the touchdown, it's all their fault, right? Like, it's not anyone else on the team's fault. It's all it's they screwed up. So that's kind of how we, you know what I mean? That's, you're not coming for me. You're not coming for me. Mr. Campos is not coming for me. We're not doing that. Like, I like to win, and I'll do what I have to do to win.
There you go.
Yeah,
There
it's the 8th inning, and you're the closing pitcher, and you got to come in and finish the deal.
That's
Sorry,
it.
I like sports, so I like to use sports analogies.
Yeah. I try, but I don't really know sport that well, so sometimes I just sound dumb. But there's part of me that happens.
So there's a big question that always comes up, right? Obviously,
I'm
everybody.
not single, Danny.
Nice.
You sure?
Okay, so let me move on to the next question then.
Okay.
So the next question I had was, there's something that as an investor, what everybody's trying to look for is to save some money. Okay, why is it important for you not to have that mentality when it comes to title insurance?
Good question.
I'll tell you, because that's actually what saves you money. If
Okay.
that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, title insurance does not eliminate the risk. You're just putting the risk on someone else's wallet instead of yours. It's still going to happen. There's a reason why every lender requires you to have a policy to protect the lender, because 90% of the time there's going to be something. There's going to be something that's going to cloud that title at some point. They go back like 60 years. Do you know what could happen to a property, if it's transferred over 60 years? It just doesn't make any sense. It's a one-time fee. It's not like you're paying it every month. You're not paying it every year. You pay it one time, and it protects you from anything that gets discovered from the past. Nothing that you're doing moving forward. It's not like a car accident, or you know what I mean? Like, This is a car accident that happened, 40 years ago. That things get missed. Humans do title exams. Humans are the ones that input, recording information. I could talk for days on the nightmares.
Okay, those
That's
actually my
actually going to be
next
the
one.
next question.
Right. I was gonna go for that too. You got a really good one where it's like, if
Very
it wasn't for
complicated
title
one.
insurance, they would have been screwed. You have a really good story about that?
Do you have your tissues nearby?
Oh my gosh.
I can use a piece of paper.
When I tell you, when I got into this business, my hair was the color of Danny's. Because when I literally, I'm sure there's a figure. It's got to be somewhere in the 90th percentile of issues. Now, the issue could be as simple as an unreleased HELOC. I swear, I don't think there's a bank on the planet that releases a HELOC. I don't think there's a bank on the planet that releases a HELOC. But again, if you go to sell that property in 10 years after that HELOC was satisfied and it wasn't released, and you don't have title insurance, you have a cloud on your title. You're either not going to be able to sell it, or you're going to have to clear that lien, or do a lot of digging to find that it got paid off, to show proof that it was paid off. That's an easy one. So in the state of Maryland, I'm sorry, did you want to go?
I just wanted to just quick before you continue. What if somebody wouldn't have title insurance? What happens then with that HELOC?
Yeah.
You owe it.
If you want to clear it, or you just continue to own the house.
Yeah.
It's not a problem until you're selling the house.
Until you sell the house and it
You
appears
can
again.
keep the house forever. I mean, I guess that's your second option.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Or you pay for it one time.
That's it. Yeah.
So we have and again, for days. I could go for days. Because I get those phone calls. they start with me, and then I kind of funnel them out to whatever department needs to handle it. If we did the deal, I can go back to the beginning of time and check stubs, wire confirmations, what have you on mortgages that have been paid off. I can tell you if it was a countrywide mortgage, I'm going to have trouble. I have trouble with those. I mean, they're out of business. I can't pick up the phone and call somebody. I'm going to have to do some digging. I'm probably going to have to pay some people off and get some, I'm kidding.
You guys are like detectives.
We really are. That's what we say. Like, that's why women are, because women, we can find out anything. We can find out anything. We're literally FBI agents. Like that's what it takes. That's what it takes sometimes. So I'll tell you, we have one right now. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a Liz Pendants.
No.
It's basically a lien. It's a lien. So I want to say like that, maybe back like in the 80s, listing brokers would I guess they like lend out money when they take the listing with the understanding that they're going to get that money back when they sell the property. They put a mortgage on them. They put a lien on your house.
Oh my God.
The listing agent.
Yes, the brokerage. Yes. So we have one right now. Huge. He was a huge broker in Virginia. It's $18,000. It was never released.
Jeez.
He's now like old and senile and like decrepit in Florida. We tracked it down. We tracked his like family members down, and we found this guy. And he's like, "You have to show me proof that it was." What? Like, you sold the property. Of course you got your money back. Why would we know that you sold it? Your brokerage was successful in selling this property. Use context clues. We know that you of course you paid yourself back. You just didn't release it. $18,000. So it's holding up the transaction over 18. But so the moral of that story. So the buyer, our seller, who was the buyer, didn't get owner's title insurance. Had he done that, like I said, you're not eliminating the risk, you're just transferring the responsibility of the risk. You pay your $1,000, $2,000, premium or whatever, because it's based off the price of the house that you're buying. You pay that premium one time. I guarantee you it pays for itself.
It's worth it.
It's like iPhone. It's like an iPhone insurance. If you buy an iPhone and don't get the, what is it, like $9 a month or something, you're gonna use it. You're gonna use that insurance at some point. That's kind of like owner's policy. And like I said, the lender, they're gonna make sure they're protected. Their portion of this is protected. So the fact that every time you buy a house and you get a mortgage, that lender requires it. Why wouldn't you want to protect yourself?
Right.
Like I said, it's in the 90th percentile. Somewhere in the 90th percentile, there's going to be something. It could be the smallest issue, but it's not going to cost you a dime. Mm-hmm. And it just goes away. Like, you flash your little title policy and it disappears.
Nice.
I'll have another one real quick, and then I'm done. Like I said, I could go for days.
No, keep going.
We had one. This was, and again, like Maryland. This was a Maryland property, and Maryland, it generally has quite a bit of rural areas. This was a property that was like a family farm. It was subdivided 55 years ago. He gave some of the lots went to family members. Other lots were sold off. They have transferred over and over and over and over again in the past 55 years. We're doing a deal right now and we discovered the legal description is wrong. It doesn't match the plat. There's like 16 lots.
Jeez.
Over like 100 acres. Wow. There's houses on all of these lots. It's wrong. Like, it's wrong. It's been wrong for 55 years. And these parcels have sold over and over and over and over and over again.
So is that like maybe like the previous title company's fault?
From the jump, from 55 years ago. So who do you blame?
Yeah. It's like,
It just so happened that we, like our abstractor and then our attorneys that review, like they're looking at it, and I guess I'm not even sure how they discovered it, but they were like, yeah, this legal description doesn't match what you're saying they own.
Wow.
So now it has to all be resurveyed.
Oh my
The
God.
entire 120 acres.
Holy cow.
Resurveyed. Do you know what a survey on 120 acres costs?
I don't know.
$30,000. Guess
Get out.
who's not paying for that?
Oh,
The seller. It's the seller
right.
in our transaction.
Yes.
Because it's his problem. He owns the property. He wants to sell it. He's got to be able to sell it clean and
But title insurance again covers it.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I saw that owner's title policy like come up in my email, like I almost peed myself. I was so excited because he's so safe right now. Like literally, like this. It's not his. It's not his. It's not his
That's
problem.
great. That's great.
And there's nothing the title. You know how like you have a car accident, you have a horrible accident, like you hit a Tesla or something.
Yeah.
Not that I've done that. And then your insurance premium goes up. That doesn't happen. Like you've already paid. It's paid one time. And again, I know I sound like a salesperson, and people probably hear this stuff all day long. We see it. We look at it.
Right.
Like there's not a person that like a friend or a family member. I mean, I have a brother, very type A, calls my phone, Sarah, what is this title insurance? Is this bogus? Do I need this? Yes, please. You're the most intelligent person that I know. You work for the federal government.
Use it.
Please pay them. Please pay the money.
Yeah. Wow.
When you're buying your hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're splitting hairs over $1,000,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll stop there. Like I said, Sarah has no problem talking.
I mean, those are great examples, and I mean,
And when you're passionate, when you're super passionate, about stuff, and then so I know like we had talked briefly before this that we were going to get into like heirs and estates and all. I don't know if you guys were still down for that.
I mean, I guess just on your basic, I mean, I was going to ask quickly, I mean, you don't have to get into too much, but like usually when you find heirs that maybe we didn't think were there or any kind of heirs on the title itself, like usually how long, what's like an estimated time that usually takes to fix?
I would say it depends on the county and the state that you're in. I don't have a real answer for that.
Got it.
I can tell you if we're involved, and again, remember, Sarah wakes up ready to fight every morning. Like I wake up choosing violence. If I need to call, a court clerk, once a week to kind of keep, to keep the fire under them, then I will certainly do that. Our hands are kind of, I don't want to say tied, but they're basically tied in a situation like that because we can't do our job until that mess is cleaned up. Or we can't finish our job until that mess is cleaned up. We can certainly, cheerlead and, like I said, make phone calls and get our attorney involved in it. And he also wakes up every morning choosing violence. So Glenn would have he will
Common ground between you guys.
have your back on that, and we'll get it resolved as quickly as we can. But like I said, every county is different. If it's like one of these little podunk counties in Maryland, and like I know the clerk's first name and like her kids' names, that kind of thing. She's gonna pull some, she's gonna pull some favors, and she's gonna, help us do it as quickly as she can. But some of that stuff can be a nightmare.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
It can be. I mean, I almost had a situation like that in my own family, and the judge literally looked at me. So my father he's in a nursing home. He has Alzheimer's, and he's been there for like 4 years. So as a family, we just didn't come together and do what we should have done prior to. So we're kind of scrambling, like this started about 2 years ago, kind of scrambling, like we need to get his house sold, we need to do this, like get his affairs in order, so on and so forth. And I need to sell his property. The nursing home said, well, we can just have him sign a POA. He has Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Right.
Advanced.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I can't do that. So I come back to work on Monday morning, and I went to our attorney and I said, this is what's going on. What do I do? He said, you need to get guardianship. You need to get legal guardianship of him and go and take it that route. He's like, that way you're covering your bases, and you're covering the bases, 20 years from now when they need to figure out the story of what happened, here, they can do that. So I go through all of that. It's a process. I go through that whole process, and then I have siblings. So my siblings, I'm thinking they have to give their approval, for this. And they really don't. The courts will send letters out to the address that you provide to anyone that may be an interested party. If they don't respond, the court assumes that they don't have a problem and they will proceed. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
You understand what a nightmare that could be?
Yes.
My God.
In years to come.
You guys really have to really dig in.
With signed affidavits, from my siblings saying, we're cool with this. And the judge is looking at these documents, and he was like, this is kind of overkill. And I said, well, I'm in the real estate title business. He's like, that makes sense. He said, someone is going to appreciate your due diligence. But so you can understand, 5 years down the road, or even if one of your clients purchases a property that is an estate or something, similar to this, the courts aren't really doing a whole lot to get to that.
Yeah, no, that whole process is, forget it.
Heirs can very easily, heirs and people that are, that have interest in that property can come out of the woodwork very easily.
Yeah.
Very easily. So
let me ask you something in regards to this. I think this is it's a real common question when it comes to especially obviously for investors, when it comes to 1031 exchange. Can you give us a little bit of a background of what that means, and how can maybe investors benefit from that?
So that, I'm not a CPA. So again, we just, we only kind of dabble. We just kind of make the money move around.
Right.
But if you're an investor and you get like tax breaks basically by utilizing a 1031 exchange company. We have a ton of them all over the country. If it's something that do you see this? Do you see what's going on here?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's Rachel, your processor, by the way.
We didn't see it.
Nobody
saw it.
I was trying not to laugh, but
nobody saw it.
All the way was the icing on the cake. I had to laugh.
Nobody saw it.
I'm not working fast enough, so she has to come in here and get a document. I love her.
I love it. Too funny.
Rachel is burning the midnight oil.
Rachel that was pretty good, Rachel.
My knees in her office. I got it. Yes. Oh Lord. We can't talk like that on the podcast. But yes. So like I said, I'm not qualified to get in too deep with those, but we have, like I said, we have 1031 exchange companies all over the country. If you're interested in saving money and not giving it all to the government, reach out to me and I will get you a phone number. It's super easy. All the, it's basically they hold your money. You have to like reinvest it into a like property, and it kind of just bounces around, and then you save a lot of money. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yes, definitely. To kind of talk a little about you, do you require all members to be present, or just a primary guarantor? Will a board resolutions precise for you when it comes to?
Yep, the board resolution works just fine.
Got it. Okay, it's good to know. Nice.
So I do want to point out, just because I and not with any of Campos' stuff, but I've seen it with other transactions where, let's say somebody bought a property in their personal name, or the husband and wife bought it. Husband and wife bought a property, an investment property, and then they're refinancing. We do the refinance. They want to put it into an LLC. Keep that LLC in both names. Otherwise, you're paying like full rec and transfer fees. And again, based on, because as long as, if any of the names change.
Okay. If any of the names change, that's when the transfer taxes come in play.
Yes. And again, there's, every situation is a little different, but generally speaking, that's what,
What about from one LLC to another LLC on a refinance?
Is it the same?
So if it's same members, you should be good.
I believe you'd be okay because it's the same members.
Okay.
But I can double check that. It's Friday night and.
But I mean, we do have a lot of clients that, for example, they've bought it under their personal names, right?
Mm-hmm.
We definitely give them the whole spiel of the importance of putting things under your LLC, and
Absolutely.
they decided, you know what, let's do it.
You're a business person. You should have your business in an LLC.
It's going to be the best option for you. So, in that case, I've seen it many times where that transfer of title of taxes comes into place. But I guess finding out what's the best way of getting it done to not have to pay that. I mean, in reality, you're the same person who's keeping the property. There's nothing changing. It's just the name. That's it. Yeah. And obviously, it's going from a personal name into an entity, and that's understandable. But like the whole transfer of taxes can like sum up to like right now, somebody's paying like $8,000-$9,000 for that. You know.
So just as an example, let's say. Ken, you bought a property. And now you want to refinance it. And while you're refinancing it, you want to go ahead and put in the newly created LLC, and you're going to put Maria on it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. Just wait. Do the refi, do the LLC just in Ken's name. You can add Maria later to the LLC.
Got it.
After it's on record, and you're going to save. And again, I get it. I'm a math person, and here's where the restaurant stuff comes into play. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, if you've ever done food ordering, liquor ordering, where you count pennies. Pennies. Now, I can't count pennies in title. I can't count pennies. I don't care if the tomato's 10 cents or 12 cents. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. But we can count dollars. And if I can save you $3,000 in your refinance, that's a couple months. You know what I mean? Like, that's a couple mortgage payments. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, and all you have to do is then just amend your LLC afterwards and add that person that wasn't on the original deed.
Correct.
Sorry, I'm really hard. I'm hard to follow sometimes.
That's a really good point. No, I follow you on that one. And I think that's very important for all the investors that are listening in, because this happens a lot. And obviously it happens a lot more, I think, with cash buyers, that, if they bought this property under their own name just to get it, just purchase it quick, and now they want to put it into LLC. So that's a good way of being able to definitely save some money on those transfer taxes.
And again, I mean, people, they sound like, $1,500 is not a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's more than
that'll pay for your owner's title policy.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
But that's awesome. Ken, I don't know if you had any other questions.
No, I mean that's really it. We got down the list, so we're good.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Yes, Thank you so much.
Yeah, this was very informative, and I think that this is something that we've had title companies here in the past, and on REI Happy Hour, but
They
all
weren't
these
as much fun.
reminders. Yeah, it's not as much fun as we had to say. No, but in reality, it's like all these reminders is really important to like refresh your mind on these different topics, right? And especially when you have somebody like experience like you that have seen it all. And so it's important to have all this information to be able to make sure that you do right on your properties.
Yeah.
People, investors, you're sacrificing your time, your family into all these properties. It's important for you to protect it. It's important for you to do it right. And obviously having the backup and having that support from the right title company is going to you'll be more protective. You'll be more, make sure that your investment property actually does well. So thank you, Sarah, for all that information.
And I also, like I've told Pedro in the past, if you've got people out, like let's say you're out looking at property over the weekend, or you go to like an auction, or something, and you have a question, or let's say you look at a property and you think like, this seems a little weird, like the kids are selling it, but this is going on, like you could call me. If I don't have the answer, I can call my attorney. I can call my boss. Like, this is what the situation is. This is the address. What kind of information can we give these people before Monday morning when they've got to put an offer in?
Nice.
Because
that's awesome.
If my phone is ringing, I'm picking it up.
So I mean, now that we're on that, Sarah, what's the best way for people to contact you?
They can reach me at the office.
Okay.
I think that the Campos people have that number, or I mean, I can rattle it off. I can, if somebody wants to post it.
What's the phone number? And that will put it on the comment.
The phone number is 443-734-1992.
Awesome. And then she already also added the Facebook for Anchor Title Escrow there on the chat as well.
All of your contact information there. Pedro, I don't want to put my cell phone out there for the whole my personal cell phone. But Pedro has it. If or you can like email. I mean, I check my emails all weekend long.
Awesome.
Or you can reach out to Pedro, and if Pedro can't answer a question for you, he will pick up the phone, and I pick up when Pedro calls.
Awesome. And again, everyone that is listening in from Maryland, Virginia, DC, and soon to be PA, if you guys have any transactions that's happening, make sure to call Anchor Title and Escrow. That's our preferred title company for all our transactions. So thank you, Sarah, again for your time. I know any last words,
guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Nice. Yes. Thank you. Ken, any last words?
No, that's it. Everyone have a good weekend.
There are no more left.
Have a good one, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye.